This is Michael Buckley, and I'm so thrilled that everybody took time to send in a question about me and my new book, Undertow. It comes out May 5th. I hope you'll check it out. The first question is from Donna on Facebook. It says, how do you write? Do you use an outline and plan ahead, or do the ideas just come to you? Sometimes it's both. Sometimes I'll have an idea of how the story's going to go, and I'll write down little brief sentences. I generally don't start a story until I know how it ends, and but things like character and plot and even setting, I generally just trust that they're going to work themselves out. I know some writers just start with a good character, but I feel like with me at least, the characters sort of reveal who they are along the way, and kind of like real people. Sometimes I write something down, and sometimes I just jump right in and start working. Zach on Twitter asks me, do you have a character of yours that you relate to the most? I think every character I've ever written is a little bit me, or they're based on people that I grew up with, or I knew, people I was in relationships with, or old friends. In Undertow, I think the character that relates to me the most is probably Shadow. He's sort of, stuck in the friend zone, and I often found myself in the friend zone when I was in high school, and it took me a long time to figure out how to get out of the friend zone. So I think that Shadow is probably experiencing things that I experienced as well. Next question is from Melanie on Instagram. When did you decide that you were going to make Sabrina and Puck end up together? I've heard other authors say this, and there is a lot of truth to it. The characters do whatever they want to do, and I sort of just write it down. I'm constantly surprised by things that characters will do in books. So when it came to Sabrina and Puck from the Sisters Grimm, I don't actually remember making a conscious effort that those two would wind up having, a first love, or that makes sense, in hindsight, but I had nothing to do with it, really. I just wrote it all down. Mitch asks, Mitch from Facebook, what methods do you use to keep your characters consistent during the writing process of your books? You know what? The method I use primarily is just the revision process. I tend to trust where the character is going to end up. In the case of Lyric, I had a couple ideas of who she was based on people that I knew in my life, and that was a good starting point. But who she wound up being, I didn't really discover until the very end, and then I have to go back and rewrite and make it all consistent. I know there are people who sit down and write spreadsheets and have these gigantic character Bibles. I just can't bring myself to do that. I'm way too eager to jump into the actual story and get started to do all that planning. Okay, so my last question is from Paul on Facebook. What is the schedule for the release of the next two in the Undertow series? Well, the first one comes out May 5th, and I'm very excited and a little nervous. I have worked on the first draft of the sequel that I'm calling Raging Sea. I believe that is scheduled for next February. And then the third book, I don't know what the title is. I haven't written it yet. But I believe that will probably be out maybe a year from number 2, hopefully. I'm writing them as fast as I can. But I want to thank you all so much for submitting the questions. If you have more, I am on the Twitter, and I'm also on Instagram. And I also have a Facebook fan page. I hope you'll pick up Undertow. It comes out May 5th. I'm really proud of it. It's a big change from some of the things that I've written in the past. It's young adult, and I'm just really thrilled that it's coming out, and can't wait to hear how you guys feel about it. So until then, stay off the beach.